Giving Tuesday is a global effort that encourages people to do good.
Go to loveshriners.org.
This year, please support Shriners Children.
Go to loveshriners.org. Thank you.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
And we are back here on Katz and Cosby. Everybody reacting to President Biden's pardon of his son Hunter. And joining us now is Rich Lowry, who wrote a really powerful column for the National Review. He's editor of the National Review. End of the scam. Explain, because do you think it's the end of it, really, Rich?
Well, it should be, right? This guy was always, Joe Biden, puffed up into something he wasn't, savior of democracy and of our institutions and our norms. And part of the case some people made for this was that he pledged not to pardon Hunter Biden. That showed just how committed he was, supposedly, to our institutions and norms. And no sensible person believed this. I didn't believe it. I'm sure none of you believed it. And, of course, he went back on it at the end of his term and made all these people look like naifs and hacks, but just shows how self-interested he's always been. And the key thing with Hunter Biden wasn't just the gun charge, it wasn't just the tax evasion, it was the fact he had all this cash to evade taxes on in the first place because all these dubious foreign actors were showering money on him when he was in the throes of addiction because his last name was Biden, and that was the family business. And that's the ultimate public disgrace.
Well, I think it goes far beyond what disclosures have been, and I wonder what President Trump is going to do. Any ideas? I mean, is he going to try to make peace in the country, or are we obligated to search out and find out what the truth is?
Well, I think the truth is important. I think the Congress did a great job, the Republican Congress, getting to the truth of the Biden family business. And the truth is, by the way, Hunter Biden was giving every single consideration by the Justice Department that first wanted to make all this go away and just let it go and the statute of limitations lapse on everything, and then cut the sweetheart plea deal with Hunter Biden that Joe Biden in a statement says was carefully crafted and negotiated. Yeah, it was to give Hunter Biden every possible break, and then a judge, as soon as she looked at it, it's like, this is crazy, this isn't legitimate, and threw it out. And that's why we ended up where we are now, not because of Joe Biden's political opponents. But I think, the best revenge, as Trump said occasionally in the campaign, is success. And there are a lot of factors that went into his election victory, but the two biggest were discontent over the economy, prices, and the border. And if Trump can fix those things, that I think is the best form of vengeance. Yeah, I agree. And he seems like he's already made a lot more headway than Biden ever did. Judge Weinberg.
Rich, good to talk to you again. They try to make this mythical figure out of Joe Biden, but as you point out in your great column, this is a guy from the very beginning has been a scam artist, has been a peddler from the very, very beginning of lies and misinformation. He's a mediocre guy, not well regarded, and he was a beneficiary of a political process that just let him sail through. And everybody say, well, he's tainted his legacy. If you look at his legacy, he's never been a stand-up guy, and he's never done the right thing for this country. Yeah, when he was at the top of his game, supposedly in 1988, he had to drop out of the presidential race during his first run in the Democratic primaries because he lifted the biography of a British politician and pretended it was his own. Who does that, right? And this is the good deal. He got caught in law school for plagiarism, too. Yeah, there you go. So he basically, because of circumstances, the foremost one is, you guys were discussing earlier, the pandemic in 2020, he basically won the presidency by accident, having already become a has-been. He was already a has-been when he was elected, and has become more of one during his time in office, which is a bizarre situation. I mean, he's almost been forgotten in recent months, right? What have we heard about Joe Biden? By the way, did you see what he did today? He is giving $1 billion to African nations to deal with natural disasters. I'm all for helping everybody, but why don't you take care of North Carolina? Not as you're going out the door. Don't spend our money as you're going out the door. That's exactly what he's doing. But you know what, Rich, I want to bring up the fact that Biden is the beneficiary. Him and his family, his brother and his son and the rest of his family are the beneficiary of all the deals that Hunter made, trading on his father's name and vice president title
over those years. I mean, the millions and millions of dollars that is squandered somewhere.
That's why they had the pardon to January 1, 2014.
Exactly. But you know what? Think about all that money that they made.
But the disgrace is that on the way out, he's claiming that his son was the victim of persecution. No reference to Trump whatsoever and what he went through.
Yeah, so all you need to know about Hunter Biden's dealings with Burisma is they cut his pay as soon as his father stopped being vice president.
Right.
That tells you everything. And Joe Biden was implicated in these crimes. So there wouldn't have, or in this corruption, I should say, it was all based on selling access to him. He knew about it. He met with his son's clients at various times, and he lied about it from beginning to end. So the whole thing has been a grotesque abuse of the public trust.
By the way, Rich, this was just breaking a little bit ago that a Georgia Superior Court judge has ordered the Fulton County, Georgia DA, Fani Willis, to release all of her communications with Special Counsel Jack Smith and the Democratic-led January 6th committee. That's going to be interesting to see because remember the boyfriend went to the White House
2 days and he billed for it, and of course there was no collusion between the White House and the local prosecutor going after Trump.
Right, exactly. So this could be interesting. What comes out of here? Yeah,
absolutely. One of my favorite features of the election was Trump or someone would go on a show and say, I've been targeted by my political opponents. And they say, you have no proof of that. But even if you say that he wasn't targeted by the Biden Justice Department, which he was, Fani Willis and Alvin Bragg were partisan Democrats who were committed to pursuing Trump. I think Bragg promised it, right? Fani Willis certainly
he campaigned on it.
It's worse than that. His chief prosecutor was the number 3 guy in the Department of Justice. They were brought to Manhattan.
Colangelo.
Right. Yeah. I mean, how? Tell me there's no collusion there.
Yeah, so I mean, all this has created a sense the system's not on the up and up, and an appetite among Republicans for just blowing it up. So that's how you get a Kash Patel nominated, or he's going to be nominated for FBI director.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to get to the bottom of all of this. It's going to be fascinating to see where it goes and what the Trump administration uncovers and what documents maybe or other things that we haven't even heard about yet.
We have to know the truth. The American people could forgive afterwards, but we should know the truth.
I agree. We should know what it is at least, and then let us decide.
What I want to know, I want to see a subpoena from the Senate or the House to brag about communications between Bragg and the White House and the Justice Department. Why is it the number 3 person in the Department of Justice went back down to Manhattan as assistant DA?
Right.
Was that just a coincidence? I want to know about that.
And he was the guy who was doing all the
he's doing all the brain work.
Right.
He was doing all the brain work.
There is no coincidence.
Yeah, there is no coincidence. We should know.
Thank you, Rich Lowry. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rich.
Roger Stone here with an urgent warning. While we celebrate Trump's historic win, inflation continues to drain your IRA and 401k. And China is now targeting your money with a kill shot on the U.S. dollar. That's why thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold and contacting the experts at Colonial Metals Group. Gold has protected American wealth through every financial war. For a free 2024 gold guide that explains everything, go to freegoldguide.com/Stone or call 800-747-6589. So go to freegoldguide.com/Stone or call 800-747-6589. That's 800-747-6589 for a free 2024 gold guide to learn how you can protect your life's work and if you qualify for a free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver right now. That's freegoldguide.com/Stone.